Just doing my quote-unquote normal morning routine. Obviously, getting ready to move. So lot of stuff going on, but I'm always gonna be making my healthy breakfast. And obviously, I already drank all my hydrogen water this morning. And there is a supplement. I don't like taking a lot of supplements. And I don't think I would only take this one if I felt that either I was at risk of cancer. Remember, I don't give any medical advice. I'm not making any medical claims. I'm not making any claims for or against any product or products. Okay. But if you want a super awesome immune system, if you think that maybe you have an autoimmune issue, or if you're afraid of getting the C word, or if you think you do have it, either way, this stuff is pretty awesome. It's a mushroom extract and Coriolis versicolor. I don't have any links below, but I'll try to put them later. But the website is, let's see, hman.petclub247.com. But this is the way that I'm starting out because I'm on an empty stomach and I'm loaded up on hydrogen already. And I'm very impressed by that product. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. All right, moving on. Going to make and then by the way, to make the healthiest hydrogen water, obviously, super clean water is always super important. I can't emphasize that enough. Carbon distiller. And then obviously the right type of hydrogen equipment, the actual correct stuff, because my goodness, it's a wild, wild west out there in the world of hydrogen these days. And I got to say, most people don't know how to make hydrogen properly, in my opinion. Well, if you want it to be effective and safe, really, it's kind of what I'm getting at. Okay, Yanel says, hi there. Is there a way we can have a chat? I am happy to pay for a consultation. Yes, you can email me. My email's uprising144k. I'll be moving, obviously, very soon, and we can connect. I'll be international, but I can still connect with people and have conversations and stuff like that. I don't like to do a lot of them these days, unless people are extremely committed. But if you are very committed, then yes, I'm willing to, talk to you and do a consult, because I do understand people's medical issues and how it sucks to be sick. Okay, so let's move on to making the morning smoothie here. I just noticed I have a few things in the way here that are going to rob me of space. Let me move some of this stuff. Favorite ingredients, I'm gonna move my Vitamix because, well, that's not the one that I'm using today. And Vitamixes are great blenders. I really enjoyed it. But the new one is it's a little cheaper and it's really good too. And I've enjoyed both, but I like the vacuum blending option, obviously, on this guy. Okay, let's go ahead and start with nutrients. M-Town Tuna says, where did you purchase the hydrogen machine from? The official website, and it is important to get the official product because it has been attempted to be copied by the Chinese, and it doesn't have the same technology, even though it looks the same. But the official site is called holyhydrogen.com. That is a truly engineered, hand-built, lab-tested, all in Japan. There's a reason that it's the #1 hydrogen machine literally in the world. And a lot of people don't understand, like people get excited about hydrogen, but they don't really understand that there's a difference on how you make it. There's multiple ways to make hydrogen. And then they don't understand the engineering that goes behind it and the science that is necessary to do it correctly. And in America, so far, I've realized that really just about nobody understands that yet. In Japan, they do, but not in America at this time. So people will learn in time. And I think it's also important, and science is clearly supporting it, that you should be able to make not only just hydrogen water, which the machine that I use does, and the Japanese clearly understood that. They're so far ahead of us, by the way, in the world of hydrogen, that they also made it have an inhalation option. Because you really want to be able to inhale the gas, which I'll be showing you here in a little while, because I'm going to do it myself. But also important to drink the water. The combination is, in my opinion, where it's really at. You don't want to just do one or the other because it's just, it's not enough. So what I'm putting in here, obviously, I'm a data-driven guy, and the data shows that our body responds best to food. I'm using this as a multivitamin, and it's just food. And I put it in my smoothie every day. It's called Power Shake. Super clean. When I say super clean, like no pesticides. And even organic products test positive for pesticides. I'm very impressed by this company. It's a website called ishoppurium.com. Purium is Purium as in Mary. And if you do want a discount code, you can use the code uprising144K if you want to help the channel out. Okay, let's keep moving on. Forward here. Okay. So that first ingredient to me is the most important one. That's the staple. This one you don't need to do it, but I really find a lot of good properties. This is turmeric or turmeric. Organic, of course, and it's the only ingredient. If you notice, the stuff that I like to use typically only has the actual ingredient. It's just food. That's all this is. It's just turmeric. In fact, you know what? I'm going to throw a little extra in there because I'm leaving. I'm going to probably not end up being able to use it all. And so I'll probably leave it to a friend or something. So turmeric, obviously very anti-cancerous, anti-inflammatory, anti-parasitic. These things are always, everything in my smoothie is either one of those three things. Anti-parasitic, anti-cancerous, anti-inflammatory. And most likely actually anti-aging also. Please repeat the code. You said it so fast. Oh, it's Uprising144K. It's the name of the channel. So it's the same name as the channel. Martine says, "Hi Greg, can you repeat your email address?" Same name as my channel, Uprising144K, and then @gmail.com. Okay, next ingredient is cacao. Cacao not only has all sorts of wonderful magical properties, again, just a food. If you look at the actual ingredients on the label, it's just cacao. That's all it is. I mean, we can look at it right here. Organic cacao powder. That's it. The thing that intrigues me about cacao, lots of good stuff, but the one recently is how it's affecting stem cells. And seems to really be getting them going and activating them and rejuvenating them, and it's just amazing stuff. This is from rncstore.com. This is also not necessary. Like I said, necessary, just nutrients. These are just things that I like to put in there that I find throughout the years. And this one, I love their lab tested stuff. rncstore.com, same discount code, Uprising144K. I like the potential, because I'm not making any claims, but I'm just going to say that I like the potential anti-cancerous properties of this particular product. You can actually read the research. They have done actual scientific studies on the B17 within this stuff. And I'm obviously very impressed. I'm going to put a tiny bit extra today. And of course, good omegas, good fats. Just like this stuff. So that's that product. Okay, what else am I throwing in here? Now this one's impressive. This is just food again. 100% Japanese though, green matcha. Why Japanese? Again, I'm data driven. I saw all sorts of lab tests on all sorts of different types of green tea, matcha. And I gotta tell you, even when they all claim to be organic, the lab tests were showing lots of pesticides. And the benefits of green matcha, oh my goodness. Anti-aging, anti-parasitic, anti-cancerous, on and on it goes. So many things. And guess what? It tastes really good too. And so I like to do things that taste good if I can. And in this case, the matcha makes it taste kind of like, it's really kind of interesting because it tastes very like creamy. Just tastes really, really good. And you know, part of the secret of health is proper blood flow. And so the other thing, obviously I load up on the hydrogen water first, and then I'm gonna load up on all these nutrients, and that blood's gonna be carrying all these nutrients everywhere. That's, in my opinion, really important. Okay, let's get the next ones. Let's see what I wanna put in here next. Well, I know what it's gonna be. Super greens. I'll tell you one thing, people do not eat enough vegetables, in my opinion. I also like these, organic walnuts. Why organic walnuts? Well, do a little reading on them and you'll discover, yes, they have good omegas, good fats, all sorts of good stuff, but they literally use them on actual cancer research. You should see what it did in the research, because I'm not gonna quote unquote make any claims. I'm just telling you, potentially anti-cancerous, anti-parasitic. Raisins. These are sun-dried raisins. I'm not going to put a ton. The reason I like raisins, they do give it a little sweetness. They're going to make the smoothie taste better, because we're going to put a lot of stuff in here that's good for you. And some people are actually concerned sometimes that it's not going to taste good, but it does. Raisins have natural boron. They have a lot of stuff, but natural boron is what I'm looking for. Why? boron from the research. I did a whole video on it for you guys. I did a couple of them. Boron's amazing. And the thing that I like about it more than anything is how it appears to help regulate your hormones. And it seems to be really good for like increasing naturally your testosterone levels. Hydrogen appears to do that too. And you want, you want good, healthy hormone levels. And obviously testosterone as far as people getting older and stuff. And I'm quote unquote very happy when I'm using the boron. My levels look really good. I'm always getting things checked out to make sure that my methods are working. Because if they're not working, I gotta change them, guys. I'm always open to change, but I gotta tell you, I've already been down basically, I don't want to say the rabbit hole. I've been down the path of being obviously super sick. You guys all know I shouldn't even be alive right now. So hey, I'm on borrowed time, guys. And you know what? I'm grateful for, that I'm still here. I'm more grateful not just being here. I'm more grateful that I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling, because I was here before, but I was sick and I felt horrible and I was in so much pain. I couldn't walk. My joints hurt so bad. My heart had a major problem. On and on it goes. I had these tumors in my body. The whole thing really sucked. And this is obviously what really worked. Obviously, I mean, all this stuff is great, but I obviously have to give most of the credit to super clean water and hydrogen, mostly hydrogen. But all these things have been very, very helpful for me, all these different kinds of protocols I've been creating. Okay, so now super green. You guys should see the new epigenetic studies that were done on these type of greens. So good for you. This next one is actually really impressive. Again, just food. Let's see here. Somebody says, Martin says, what is the brand name on the matcha? Well, I mean, you can find any green matcha as long as it's, I mean, I also try to find things that are a good bargain. So I just happened to see it. It wasn't super expensive and it was 100% Japanese organic. The Japanese, all the research I found and all the lab tests I've seen, their green tea matcha always tests the best as far as very, very low pesticide content. Ginger, guys. We did a video, or I did a video, but a lot of you guys were here. I did a video on the benefits of ginger. Man, long list. So many amazing benefits from ginger. It was actually more than even I had known. Same thing with like green tea matcha. So throwing all this in there, along with all the benefits of the super greens. That's why this is literally a super smoothie. And it's not just like, oh, I'm drinking this to be, I don't know, have something healthy. This is what I've done with this smoothie, just so you guys kind of understand what we're doing here, why this is, really neat. Because look at all this stuff. You really think you could sit down and eat all this stuff? There's no way I could. I'm not going to sit down and start chomping on ginger and, I don't know, I just wouldn't do it. But in this smoothie fulfills one, for me, these are all my opinions, not claims, but I use it as a multivitamin. Because remember, your body responds best to food. And so I want to get all my nutrients. And then I go to the doctor and get my blood checked, right, to make sure that I'm getting enough nutrients. And it didn't just blow their mind. It blew my mind. It blew my mind. I was going in thinking, okay, I got to make sure that if I have some deficiency, I got to fine tune what I'm doing. And instead of that being what happened, the doctor looks at my blood work and like, oh my God, what are you doing? I'm like, what is it? And they're like, you have no nutritional deficiencies. Like in 30 years, the doctor says she's never seen blood like mine. Never. It's like, this is incredible, to the point where she's like, okay. And normally a lot of doctors don't even care. They're just like, oh, okay, you're doing great. But she cared. But the reason she cared, turns out, was because of her family members. Specifically, in this case, it was actually her patients and her daughter, who did have certain deficiencies. And she was trying to give her certain like supplements, and it just wasn't working. And what people don't understand is absorption of nutrients, not just taking in the nutrients. Now, what's the secret? Because by the way, there is a secret, and I can tell you guys about it. Let's see, somebody says, that's awesome. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's see. I'll tell you the secret about absorbing nutrients, in my opinion. Let me grab some blueberries. I love when I feel good. You know, we take it for granted sometimes. Like I know I did. Like I ain't gonna lie, I definitely took feeling good for granted when I was younger. But man, when I wake up and I'm feeling good, I gotta tell you, I am extremely grateful. Super happy I'm feeling good today. So you guys want to know? Does anybody want to know the secret of how to absorb your nutrients properly? And I've definitely proven it to myself many times with all this blood work. I'll tell you what surprised the doctor more actually. And I mean, it was already impressive that they were like, "Oh my God, how in the world are you getting, you know, this type of nutrient absorption?" But that wasn't the most impressive part. The most impressive, and I shouldn't even say it, but I guess I'm just going to. Maybe I'll delete this video later, but was when she asked me, "What the heck are you eating?" Because she thought, she wanted to know what I was doing. And I knew that if I started opening up that Pandora's box and started telling her, she's just going to be like, "Oh my gosh." She was thinking that it was just some pill or some supplement. And of course, I tell her about me, you know, making my hydrogen water. And of course, she's like, "Hydrogen water?" Like she didn't know what it was. I tell her about making these smoothies. I talked to her about purifying my water. And then she's like, "Oh my gosh, this actually takes work." She's like, "That's not going to," she goes, "That's not going to fly for my patients." She, you know, that's how kind this woman was. She was actually really thinking about her patients. She said, "Whatever it is you're doing, I want my patients doing whatever it is you're doing." But then once I tell her, she's like, "Oh, like, you know, patients aren't going to commit to this." But the moment she found out, like I said, and I hate to bring this up because people get really weird about it, but it's the truth, so I'm just going to tell you. When she found out how I was eating, she just straight up couldn't believe it. She's just like, "That can't be possible." It just can't be. You know, she's looking at my iron levels, obviously all my other nutrients, but she was the one that she was just kind of pretty blown away by what apparently was my iron. Her daughter has an issue with iron, taking iron pills, which personally, you guys probably know where I stand on that. It's like, get it from your food. I don't want to take some iron pill, but she really needed to get her daughter was anemic, you know? And okay, hold on a second. What else do we got here? Oh, yes. Oh, that's right. I got some special stuff today. Gosh dang it. I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough room for it, but we're going to try. Sliced up some beautiful lemon yesterday. I guess nobody wants to know the secret for absorbing nutrients. Well, actually, if you guys want to know, just ask and I'll tell you. If you don't care, I don't need to tell you. But anyway, so yeah, she was pretty shocked. The truth is, I mean, I was shocked too. I didn't know doing the methods I was doing would work because everybody disagrees about health. So at some point, by the way, this was just a little bit leftovers of the melon. I like to cut really close to the rind. I don't think I'm gonna be able to fit everything, so I'll just use this today. We'll go with it. I'm actually gonna put some hydrogen water in here. So let me do that. Hold on a second. Let's go with a little bit of hydrogen water. Whoops, hold on a second. I just realized it might be easier over here. Okay. So I was actually really surprised. I figured, you know what? I just figured I'm gonna have some type of nutritional deficiency, something, you know, just need to modify things. It's no big deal. And that's why you get the blood work to see where you're at in different types of analysis. And yeah, I was absolutely shocked that what I was doing was working as well as it was. I thought, okay, you know, because, you know, you go down the path of whatever, and then you have to make modifications and whatever. Okay, we're putting a little bit of I'm not going to put as much today as I normally do, but chia seeds. A lot of good omegas, a lot of good minerals, a lot of good fiber. And I guess I'll go, oh, someone says, secret for absorption, please. Oh, there we go. Yes, tell us what or how it works. And then it says, that is one of my problems since childhood. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yeah, okay. You guys do want to know. Okay, so here's a secret to nutrient absorption. Hold on one second. Okay, and I'm going to give you guys, it's a few things. So I'll tell you the easy ones, and then there's more complex ones. And then you guys can choose which ones you want to do. Because life and even health of the human body is synergistic. Things work together in certain ways. So it's not just like a silver bullet. But wow, this smoothie is so full. I'm not sure I'll be able to vacuum it today. I'm just gonna have to stuff it with a bunch of stuff. We'll see how it goes. Look how pretty that is. A beet. So the secret is, the first thing I do, as you guys probably well know, is the hydrogen water. Now, you might think, well, how in the world, wow, where's my blade? Hold on a second, guys. That's weird. Where'd my blade go? Well, okay then. Somebody must have taken my blade. I guess I'll use this guy today. So loading up on hydrogen water. Is the hydrogen amazing? Well, yes, that's the first part. But the other part, boy, this thing is like a machete. What happened to my knife? I'm like really like, I miss my blade. I can't use this thing. Hold on. I gotta use my, let me see it here, hold on. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Okay, can't reach it there. I'll just use this one. Okay, so when you load up on hydrogen water, here's gonna be the interesting part. Yes, the hydrogen has amazing properties, in my opinion, definitely helping with nutrient absorption. But if you don't have access to hydrogen water, just being hydrated is going to help you. Yeah, the dishwasher's empty. Thank you though, somebody's giving me a tip there. I found it, but it's like, I can't reach it. It's in a, I have to take all this stuff out, and to be honest, everything, if you notice, everything's getting packed up, so that's why it's all packed up back there. But okay, so, and this blade is not, clearly it's not as sharp. The other one's a Japanese blade, by the way. Japanese know their metal. That's one of the reasons that the hydrogen machines have a lot to do with metal technology, the science of metallurgy, and people just, gotta tell you, they don't understand that. They use these Chinese products or stainless steel. It's the wrong metals for making hydrogen. But anywho, so hydration is key. So the first thing, that's the very first thing I do in the morning. You guys typically don't see it because, you know, I'd wake up, I clean my teeth and then clean my mouth, and I immediately drink hydrogen water. It's the first thing that I do in the morning. So I get hydrated. So proper hydration is the first thing. Now granted, hydrogen, remember, hydrogen opens up ghost vessels, the way it moves your blood. Of course, you're gonna get better nutrient absorption, the way it affects the gut. Okay, but if you don't have access, here's the next tip. If you notice, this smoothie is my multivitamin. The other secret to absorption is actually fiber. Fiber allows the minerals and the nutrients. It's almost like, I've always been trying to figure out how to explain this to somebody. It's like a sponge. So that's why fiber will pull in water, it'll pull in minerals. And when it goes into the body, it turns out, this is all new research from Japan, by the way, that literally nobody knows. I bet you even doctors in America don't know yet. Hold on a second. That basically, we have these tiny little pockets in our GI system, okay, in our intestines. And the fiber, and specifically they found out that fiber from specifically vegetables, for some reason vegetables are the best, but they get trapped. These little fiber particles get trapped in these special little pockets that we didn't even know we had. And, oh, here we go. I knew I was missing some stuff. And when they get trapped in there, they actually help regulate blood glucose. And nutrient absorption doesn't happen in just 30 minutes or just 1 hour. That's why when you take the, like for example, a multivitamin, you're not going to be able to absorb all that stuff, and you end up peeing a lot of it out. So what I do is, obviously I use food because food is the best. The body is like used to it or accustomed to it. That's why I make the smoothie, but it's also full of fiber. It's full of all the minerals. It's full of all my nutrients. And then later on, you're gonna see me add some very key nutrients to the actual smoothie. So it's all gonna work synergistically with the fiber, and I'm already super hydrated. And then you're gonna see me do another little special thing here when I'm done, which the regulars have seen me do it. I'm actually gonna inhale hydrogen while I'm eating. Now that one is next level. You don't have to do that either. You know, I'm just telling you, you know, things that I do, but you know, you're not gonna be able to do all of them most likely. Some people will, some people won't. But the biggest key, believe it or not, is actually the fiber. Fiber, and hydration. Once you start, you know, drinking hydrogen water and inhaling hydrogen, yeah, you're taking it to another level. Now, the other thing that's a little bit more tricky, because I would gladly educate you guys on it, but The problem is it's very, first of all, I can't talk about it because, you know, YouTube and all their regulations, you know, we don't have free speech. So I can't really tell you, but what I can tell you, I'll tell you what I can tell you. And that is you want to get parasites. You want to minimize your parasitic count in your body. And one dewormer that I really like that you guys can use and that I can talk about, and it happens to be really affordable, is food grade diatomaceous earth. Food grade diatomaceous earth has so many benefits, really helps bring down a lot of the negative parasites. This, by the way, is anti-parasitic too. So you can literally look up all these ingredients, like look up carrots. Literally go to Google and say, you know, are carrots anti-parasitic? You know, blueberries, beets, a lot of these foods are also anti-parasitic. Now, these foods, another thing they're gonna do, this is why this smoothie is, honestly, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or my smoothie's horn, but it does so many things for the body. So a lot of these ingredients also get the body to produce what's called nitric oxide, not nitrous oxide, but nitric oxide, really opening up the blood vessels to where, again, proper blood flow, and then with all the hydration and the way that hydrogen moves the blood. I don't know if you've ever seen my video number 68. They literally did a live blood analysis, and a doctor saw the video and said that's impossible. So I love that she went and did it herself. She bought the same unit that they were using in the lab study. She followed all the same parameters. And what did she prove? She proved that it was real, even though she thought it just was not possible. And once she realized it was real, she became a huge hydrogen junkie. And she started giving it to her almost 100-year-old mother and yada, yada, yada. Anyway, so get that blood moving. And you know, look, exercise is also going to be something, in my opinion, that's really, really good. But those are kind of the tricks right there. And those are the big quote unquote secrets. I always load up on my hydrogen water before my meals. So that's why I loaded up on hydrogen water before making the smoothie. And then I took, of course, my Coriolis versicolor. You don't have to take that one, but take an immune system to another level. And let's see, I don't have a lot of time. As you guys know that I'm moving. So I think I'm going to use up, geez, do I really want to do this? What's today? Sunday. Then I got Monday, so I'm gonna make one more of these, and then I'll use this for that, and then I might take some. I'm debating how many bananas I should put in this one today. I think I'll just put the one. Okay, what else can we put in here? I kind of feel like we pretty much have it loaded up. I feel like I'm missing something. Am I missing something? I don't know. Okay. Today, I could try to vacuum it a little bit. Let's make a little space here in the center to vacuum a little of the oxygen. I thought it was a little overloaded today, but we'll vacuum a little of the oxygen. Why are we vacuuming the oxygen out of it with the vacuum blender? Well, what we're doing is we're sucking out the oxygen so that the food won't oxidize as much while you're blending it. And that's why we're doing it. In fact, let me put a little bit more hydrogen water in this guy. Hold on a second. Okay, let's add a little bit more of this. Just a little bit more. Put a little water in there. I don't know if you guys have ever, if you haven't ever seen a vacuum blender, you're about to see one. But I might have got a little water in it, so I hope I didn't damage it. You're not supposed to load up the smoothies this much with these vacuum blenders. I just load them up. I'm used to having a bigger blender. This company's blend thing is just a little smaller. And they said they want to develop a bigger one, and I definitely would need one. Okay, let's fire this up. Suck a little oxygen out of here and go. Oh, there it goes. Wow, stop that. That was quick. Okay, if you notice the water was rising, so I'm gonna open up some of these air pockets. And you can't do this with your average blades, but this company uses Japanese blades. See, and I open up the pocket. Let's go ahead and go again. There we go. Suck out some of that oxygen. And let's see, somebody says, how much water, says Nikki. Well, if you're talking about how much hydrogen water I drink in the morning, it really depends. First, it depends on the equipment you're using. That really, really matters. So my protocols are based on the equipment that I use, and I only use the best. I think you guys know that. I'm all about the best. I want the cleanest water. I want the cleanest food. I want the best nutrients. I want the best hydrogen. So when it comes to hydrogen, you got to make sure that, you don't have kidney issues, you're not on high blood pressure medicine, you're not a diabetic. I mean, I'm just saying, and then Yvonne says, what is the company? Are you talking about the hydrogen company or the vacuum company? So let me know. I don't know what you're talking about exactly. All right, stop this. It definitely sucked out all the air out of there. And now we're about to blend, and then I'll answer your guys' questions. I'll show you a few magic ingredients that make this smoothie an absolute powerhouse of nutrients, and you will absorb it this way, in my opinion. Hold on a second. Let's just go ahead and fire it up. Hold on a second. Wow, this thing's dancing. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, now I see questions popping up. I'll answer them in a second. Okay, let's see here. I'm trying to get these last magic ingredients I want to put in this guy. Okay, give it a second. Still chopping stuff up, I can see. And you don't have to have all these. This one, in my opinion, is absolutely necessary. So there's things that I tell you that, hey, I use, but some that you just really, really need, Okay, almost done, and then I'm going to show you those last magic ingredients and answer your question. I can really feel it chopping up all those hard carrots and walnuts, so it's not quite done. It's probably fine. I just thought I was still chopping something up. Now, the only trick to this is look at this lid. It is absolutely sucked on there. And somebody's asking a good question. They're like, what are your thoughts on the statement that smoothies and juices bypass, this is from Mo, the natural human process of chewing, saliva, eating, blah, 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 blah. And of course I've thought about it, yes. And I do have an answer for that. And I'm actually gonna show you. You're about to see how I do it. So first thing is release the pressure. I put a little tissue underneath to keep the valve open, otherwise it's hard to get this lid off. I use my thumb on this part, even though it's a little sharp there. I would prefer to put something there, but I'm not gonna do it today. Okay, so we get this sucker off. And here's the trick to answer that Mao guy's question. So first of all, Mr. Mao, I don't know if that's what your name is, but that's what you have typed there. So the issue is the average human doesn't chew properly. So you're not even chewing in the first place. So what I'm actually trying to do here is blend the food, like ultra chew it. So it is chewing it for me so that, again, proper absorption or help it be digested better. This is necessary in my opinion. Vitamin D3 with K2 in its ionic form, which means it has all these other minerals and they all work synergistically. These guys were way ahead of their time because now people are realizing that vitamin D works with other minerals such as magnesium. And you know what? They're obviously right. But I believe that there's more to it than that still that they haven't discovered. But this is why I do this, Mao. So I'm just gonna call you Mao, hopefully that's right. So I got the smoothie all poured in there. So am I just gonna drink it? Nope. Because I do want to activate my jaw. I do want to activate that part of the body, because the body then, the signals are telling the body, hey, we need to digest, we need to get ready. So I take this ingredient, one of my favorite ingredients, probably the most well-balanced protein in the world, omega-3s and 6s. Balance is important. And the nutrient content is off the charts, and the minerals and the nutrients. I mean, and it's only one ingredient. Remember I told you, just look at the ingredients? Just hemp hearts. And of course, organic. So what I do, and of course they taste wonderful. So I put these on the top, because what I'm actually gonna start doing is, the moment I start drinking, I'm actually gonna start chewing those. And I'll show you guys how I do it here, because now we're gonna go to the last ingredient, which I'm gonna have to switch my hydrogen machine to inhalation mode. Oh, I don't have room here. Give me a second as I move a few things around here. And open this guy up. So what I'm actually putting on here is my inhalation kit for the hydrogen machine, because that's one of the tricks that I discovered. I created this protocol. Nobody ever does this. But basically, inhaling the hydrogen while I eat. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the science. They did some studies that literally we're aging as we eat. So food is causing us to age. In fact, the new epigenetic study that was done clearly showed that too. But I've known for a long time, because they did a study about it a long time ago. And so hydrogen, because of its quote unquote anti-aging properties and a lot of properties that hydrogen has. I mean, there's just so many, it's kind of ridiculous at some point how many things. So I'm gonna inhale the gas while I'm chewing and eating my smoothie. So that's what I do. And you know, we don't have to overcomplicate things or whatever, but obviously I do my, you know, I try to do my best. Not everybody has to do it to that level. I think people should do it to what they feel they can do, you know, based on quote unquote their lifestyle and everything else. Okay, so let's go ahead and sit down here and start inhaling. I'm gonna actually reset this guy because I had it doing the water here a second ago. And then sit down for a second. Okay. And then I'll answer your guys' last questions. Okay, so yeah, tricking the body. That's why I'm tricking the body in regards to chewing. In fact, let me start here. Let's see how it tastes. Oh, Barbara says, did you say food grade diatomaceous earth? Yes, it's exactly what I said. You can look up a lot of protocols online. There's a ton of them. Did you use food grade diatomaceous earth in the smoothie? No, not today. Sorry for the duplicate. What I like to do actually is I like to do the food grade diatomaceous earth on an empty stomach in hydrogen water. You don't have to do hydrogen water, it can just be clean water. So, you know, that's how, gosh, this camera is so crooked. Sorry guys, because it's this really cheap tripod. I'm running my channel on a shoestring budget, so hey, just trying to give you guys the information. That's what really matters, is the info. So hopefully that answers everybody's questions in regards to that. What did somebody ask? Somebody said something about, what is the company? The blender company. Oh, the blender company is called, the website is called void-system.com. Somebody can type it for you there. Somebody wants to help you out, and I think they were even running a sale, and then if you use a discount code on top of it, you get a bigger discount. And that, you know the discount code, it's Uprising 144K. It's always the same. Well, so far. Okay, let's see if I answer everybody else's questions. Oh, Eamon says, why are you so sure of the materials that the company called Holy Hydrogen is using for making their hydrogen? So right now, and then somebody's like, why you got the hose? This is pure molecular hydrogen. So I inhale it while I'm eating to basically help protect me from anything negative in the food, because, you know, there's a little residue of pesticides or something. And if you want to see how protective hydrogen is, it's off the charts. I don't know if you guys understand how protective hydrogen is. I could give you examples if you guys want to hear them. Or you could even watch my video number 8. I literally show cells being exposed to like radiation or chemotherapy with or without hydrogen, and you can see how much it protects the body. And I do it also for nutrient absorption and to try to litigate some of the negative effects of eating. Because as I told you, when you're eating, you actually are aging as you eat, if you really want to read the data. And so this is why fasting is so good for you too, but you can't do it forever because then you don't get nutrients. You know, and then Zuli says, I'm new here. Can you present yourself and why you are doing this video? Okay, present myself. Basically, I'm doing the video. You know, this allows people to be here live so they can ask questions, whether it's about health, water, hydrogen, and we just kind of quote unquote talking. You know, sometimes it's fun. We're always learning new things. Sometimes we look up information on the internet, you know, stuff like that. But more than anything, I mean, my true specialty, look, I guess you don't know this part since you're new. I'm not even supposed to be alive. So I'm here, and I discovered this, and I did work in the medical field for just a little over 2 decades. I know how that system works. I know what they believe. I know how they operate. When I got really sick, it was really scary, and it ruined my life, actually. I couldn't walk. I couldn't even lift up a glass like this. My joints hurt so bad. So I had to find my way out without the help of the medical establishment. And those techniques that I developed, I share with you guys. So I don't know if that really answers your question. Okay, Google guy says, is this just for health or to prevent some health problems if you have some? In my opinion, it's absolutely to prevent. And then if you have health issues, you know, hopefully it will help you. But absolutely, you know, preventative is where it's at. Like if you go to Japan, obviously look, the Japanese have the longest life expectancy of any industrialized nation in the world. When you look at their system, they're really into preventative rather than an emergency treatment. Just an FYI. To me, this is very much preventative. This is going to help you move your bowels, detoxify your body. Fiber is really good at detoxing the body, by the way. It has all these nutrients, minerals. I mean, it does a lot of things. Plus, it tastes good, and it fills me up. Mikhail says, hi, if you go a long time without solid food, how do you strengthen your teeth and your jaw? So first of all, this is just for breakfast. And I am chewing, by the way. And this is just for breakfast. I always have a solid meal for dinner, always. So I always have like, well, I have videos of what I eat for dinner. So I don't just do liquids all the time. Nikki says, good job healing yourself. Well, it wasn't easy. It was very painful. It was super difficult, psychologically, spiritually, you know, mentally. And that's why I share the techniques with you guys. That's literally why I'm doing this. Otherwise, believe me, there's plenty of other things that I could do, and I had many other hobbies and interests, but health really wasn't one of them. But I'm really good at figuring stuff out. And so I dove all in with my whole heart because it's the only way that I could get myself to actually do it. And it became so important to me because my life was in shambles. I mean, I probably shouldn't talk about it too much because I do get emotional. I mean, if I were to start telling you how it ruined my life, because it really did, it's been horrible. So, you know, getting past all that has been, oh, that's why I'm so happy about it, okay? Okay, Mo said, Mikhail, I read somewhere fasting makes you produce more HGH, human growth hormone. That's why some skinny people have strong bones, which also helps you young. And you know what I'm gonna do a little bit of? I'm gonna stretch a little bit while I'm reading your guys' stuff. I think I missed a few things probably. If I missed a few things, I don't know, let me know here, let's see. Why do you use a hose? Oh, that's hydrogen. Sorry for the duplicate. I guess I must have missed something. Let's see, Mikhail heard. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, so I'm gonna actually be doing, this is another technique that I've been doing I quote unquote also, I'm always developing my own stuff too. But I like this one. This one actually comes from a guy named Knees Over Toes. But what I do is I do certain breathing techniques while I'm stretching, while I'm inhaling the hydrogen gas. I like doing a lot of the breathing techniques with the hydrogen gas. I've been noticing some really interesting things happen. You know, hydrogen appears to bring down, I mean, there's research on it. That's why I bring this stuff up. Bring down parasites in the body, which is interesting, by the way. Obviously reduce oxidative stress, but stress hormones. And I notice when I'm stretching and I breathe properly, I can feel like a release more than normal. And the way that it moves the blood and just stuff like that, almost like relaxing things. Somebody actually just sent me a testimonial. I have so many testimonials that I haven't posted for you guys, and I'm sorry about that. Like I said, I've been really busy, especially focusing on the move. It's gonna be exciting. I am gonna open up a new YouTube channel because this channel is really just dedicated to education about health, water, answering people's questions in regards to such things, hydrogen, all this type of stuff. But the other channel is gonna be a little different. It's probably more philosophy. It's probably more about happiness. I'm gonna be going to Japan. That's where I'm gonna be moving to. And so I'm gonna be sharing a lot of techniques. There are, dare I say, secret techniques, but they're techniques that we used to use in the past. And so that's gonna be really interesting. If people are curious, they do a lot of interesting scientific studies. Oh, look at that. I just noticed my gasket in my hydrogen machine kind of fell off a little bit. I want to make sure it's making a good seal so that I'm getting proper hydrogen gas inhalation there. And so, yeah, you know, that's going to be really exciting. Zuli says, do you have a link for the blender? I'll be putting up one later. This is live, so I just throw up the video and I don't have any links. But if somebody wants to type it in for Zuli, or you want to just type it, you just type in void, you know, VOID, a dash system.com. And that's it. You're at the website. And if you want any discount for anything you buy, the code uprising144K, which is the same name as the channel. And that's it. And then Zuli says, I'd be happy to continue watching your journey. Yeah, I'm going to have to provide I'll be making a video within a day or two with the link of the new channel, letting you guys know when I'm leaving. Martin says, I lost you for a while. Can you tell more about the diatomaceous earth? What is in relation to absorption of nutrients? The only reason it's related to absorption of nutrients is because when you're, look, almost nobody, I think this is a huge scandal there, maybe even a scam, dare I say. Somebody says, konnichiwa, konnichiwa, you know, going to Japan, guys. Here's the scandalous part. You almost never hear doctors really talking about parasites. In Japan, for example, this is what I mean about how they operate so differently. So, oh, well, I'll answer the next question in a second. They actually test for parasites in kids at school. That's the way they do it. And they have nutritionists, by the way, that work in schools. So they're not just giving kids like pizza and burgers or whatever, deep fried chicken, McNuggets or whatever. They really, the Japanese understand that what you eat affects your brain, your health, you know, your mental state for learning, for example. So those things are, in my opinion, obviously really, really important. And so you have to make sure that your parasite count is low. Why? Because when you eat, they hang out all over your body, by the way. Almost everybody, I bet you almost every single person in this watching right now, literally has eggs from parasites in their lungs. Because when you try to clear them out, they release the eggs and they start hatching all over the place again. But they like to be mostly full grown in your GI system because that's where the nutrients in the food goes. And then they rob you of nutrients on top of food that is already deficient. So you want to bring your parasite count down. Food grade diatomaceous earth, proper food, like the food that I'm eating is very highly anti-parasitic. And then hydrogen obviously appears to help with that. On and on it goes. I might have missed something, but somebody says, I'm new here. What happened to you? Well, I just had a bunch of medical issues. I had a major heart condition. I was supposed to get open heart surgery for that. I had tumors in my body. I had an autoimmune issue, so I had gut issues, and it was causing inflammation all over the place. And I had so much pain, I literally couldn't grab, I just started crying because I was on the couch one day because I couldn't walk, and I couldn't change the channel on the remote because my joints hurt so bad, and I was at a low. You know, my body was a complete wreck. My liver wasn't really that great. My kidneys really weren't doing that good. Just everything was a mess, and I was losing actually a lot of bone, which was really scary. You know, when I went to see a dentist, they're like, "Oh my God, you're gonna all your teeth are gonna fall out," and I was like, "What?" So this autoimmune issue was attacking obviously myself and my bones. It was absolute horror, is what it was. And the cardiologist who saw my heart condition told me, they're like, "You're lucky if you have 10 years left," and that was roughly 10 years ago. He's like, "This thing is gonna take you out. You're gonna have to do surgery." I did all these protocols, and the one thing that really changed, I did a lot of these protocols, my health was kind of improving, but it wasn't until I discovered hydrogen, and then I did massive amounts of research, hence becoming the hydrogen man, because I have so much knowledge on hydrogen, not just the hydrogen, but how to make it. Nobody talks about how to make it properly. There are definitely ways that you don't want to be making hydrogen due to certain impurities, in my opinion. And then looking at the data led me to the #1 hydrogen company in the world, or in Japan, and they're the mecca of hydrogen. And then I started finding out more and more. And then when I started using their machine, I couldn't believe it. My heart condition literally went away. I just couldn't believe it. My cardiologist couldn't believe it. We were getting scheduled for surgery. I'd had the condition for a long time. So hopefully that answers that person's question. I can't reach the phone, so let's see. I feel like there's all these other things that are popping up. Okay. Now Emmett says, now I'm really confused. I've seen other healing stories of people. Oh no, Brown's gas is horrible. They said they use, yeah, but you know what? Look, I'm just gonna tell you that I can tell you people, somebody that I actually know, this is actually kind of hilarious. The Brown's gas, I'll tell you why the Brown's gas is no good. And I have used it, and not only did it not fix me, it actually made me sicker. And somebody recently that I had talked to over a year ago claimed that the Brown's gas was healing them. I just talked to his best friend like a week ago. Turns out not only did it not do that, it made him worse. So the placebo effect that people get, they think they're getting better, and then in the long term they don't. And the reason that the Brown's gas is no good, in my opinion, is because they're using something called lye, which is sodium hydroxide, which is the main ingredient in Drano. They literally use it now to dissolve human bodies. It's horrific stuff. You do not want to put that in your hydrogen, and they do that. And they also mix it with, there's actually roughly 6 to 8 other gases that are mixed, including oxygen. You actually don't want to supplement oxygen regularly. You're already breathing in oxygen. You can do it sometimes. Usually the greater benefit is to actually limit your oxygen, because your body will literally fight thinking, I'm not getting enough oxygen, produces more red blood cells. You can supplement oxygen once in a while, but you don't want to do it regularly. And here's the biggest problem with Brown's gas. The data. The Japanese have never medically approved Brown's gas ever, because it's not showing to be the right way to do it. This is what they medically approved. See, I'm actually following the science and following what's been medically studied thoroughly, by the way. The issue with the Brown's gas companies, and of course, I know that they're selling products and everything, which is really the main thing, but what they try to piggyback on the molecular hydrogen research and then tell you to use something that's not even what was being used. So don't be confused about it. I was originally, until I really thoroughly researched it. It is completely, and I tried it, and it's completely the wrong way to go. And I will tell you that the Brown's gas companies offered me a lot of money, by the way, to try to promote their products. And I wouldn't do it, because the further research I did, the more I realized that they were actually, this is crazy, I think Brown's gas is literally the worst hydrogen product in all the world of hydrogen. Number 2, I think, is the hydrogen pills. And then 3 is those little bottles that they use. Those are the order, in my opinion, as far as how bad some of the hydrogen stuff can get. So don't be too confused about it. It's not actually that confusing, but they're really convincing. They convinced me to try it, and you just have to research. Leo says, how to remove mold from body. That's going to be a little too long. That would be like a individual consult. Martin says, so is it more anti-parasites? I don't know which one you're talking about. If you're talking about the diatomaceous earth, yes. And the more you lower the parasites, the more that you're able to absorb nutrients better. Hi, Dar Ismail says, hello, bless you. I have a hydrogen bottle. Okay, but how long can I use it before replacement? Question GRTS, keep on the interesting info. Well, I don't even use the hydrogen bottles now that I've learned what's in them. Because look what they're made. They're made in China. Do you really think that China has our health at their best interest? I saw lab tests of the membranes they use. After I saw what was in them, I don't want to like make any claims to you guys, but let's just say that I would never use them even if it was free. And then they use the metal. China doesn't have very good science of metallurgy, by the way. The Japanese are absolutely elite when it comes to metals. Just look at like samurai swords and even their cars. So basically what happens is metal technology is a huge part of hydrogen technology. And they plate the metals. I don't know if you guys understand what happens to plated metal that has electrical current running through it when it's exposed to water. And they plate it with platinum. I don't know if you know. I mean, they literally use platinum, for example. In my opinion, it's very toxic to the body, but they even make drugs in the pharmaceutical field like cisplatin, where they use platinum because it kills stuff. So that like it'll destroy like tumor cells, but it's so destructive that when you use it, it will destroy your kidneys. And so then you'll need a kidney transplant on top of it. It's just not the way that I would go about hydrogen. And I hate to say, you're not going to get the benefits that way, in my opinion. You need medical grade stuff. I mean, there's a difference between these cheap little products and like, you know, something that's really legit. So I'm sorry to tell you that. A1 says, how does one use diatomaceous earth? Well, I told you, just Google it. There's massive amounts of protocols. I put it in water, mix it, drink an empty stomach, you know, at least 30 minutes before a meal, maybe 30 minutes before bed, stuff like that. But read about it. Patricia says, what is the name of your oxygen machine? It is not an oxygen machine. I am not into supplementing oxygen. Not that there's no benefits, but it's not as good. I actually used to have an oxygen machine. This is way better. The oxygen machine never fixed me. This is pure hydrogen, okay? The medical data, wow. Okay, so I hope you guys understand what happens to the human body when you're supplementing oxygen, because we already have roughly 20-something% oxygen in the air already, but there is virtually no hydrogen in the air. And the body does produce some hydrogen. It's another reason I drink these type of smoothies. So I'm definitely not breathing oxygen. Remember, oxygen is oxidizing, okay? And if you supplement it, you can read the data on it. There's actual medical data on this. It can cause oxygen. It can actually be toxic to the body. This is when people go deep sea diving, they use almost no oxygen, which will probably surprise you. They use hydrogen and they use helium. Very little oxygen. It's too toxic to the body. You have to limit how much oxygen. So that's why using it regularly just doesn't make any sense. It would actually cause problems. As any doctor, they do not want to put people on oxygen forever. It causes too many issues. But sometimes you have to use it in emergencies. So Mao Mo says, sounds like a horrible time. I remember being very sick too. Dark, lonely times. Oh, it was horrible. I mean, absolutely just, I can't even begin to tell you. A1 says, diatomaceous earth, how to use and best source. I told you, diatomaceous earth is so easy. Just look for food grade diatomaceous earth. You're gonna find a ton of it everywhere online, and look up protocols online and you'll find a ton of them. This is not something I need to educate you on right now. It's so easy to find the information. That's like why I'm telling you, because it's easy. Yvonne says, what type of water do we use in the hydrogen machine? I have a mega home water distiller. Is that necessary with the hydrogen machine? It's not necessary. Look, the hydrogen machine is designed to dissolve hydrogen gas into whatever water you want to put in there. That's how simple it is. I choose the cleanest water known to man because I don't even have the lab reports anymore because everything's packed up. But I have lab reports of what's in water, and if you're trying to heal or not get sick, if you see what's in water, you have to eliminate that stuff out of your life. It's so dirty. So that's why I do what I do. As far as that's from mypurewater.com. That's the website of the carbon distiller I use. Same discount code, uprising144K. But just use the cleanest water you can. A1 says parasites are the biggest problem when it comes to health, in my opinion, is the root cause of most autoimmune issues. And I actually very much agree with you. That's why I live what I call an anti-parasitic lifestyle. This person says this guy thinks he's smart. Okay. Maybe I'm an absolute dummy. And you know, I won't even get into that. I shouldn't even tell you about my history. Okay, Yvonne says, if use hydrogen machine, do I stop using CPAP machine? No, you don't have to use your, I mean, look, anything that you're doing medically, obviously consult your physician, you know, but I personally don't think that you would probably need to stop using it unless, you know, you didn't need it anymore. Let me see here. I was going to look up something real quick, but maybe you just kind of got me thinking about it. Because as far as I understand, when you have I don't know if you've seen the data actually in regards to CPAP machines. Usually people have issues because of the weight, but I have seen people use hydrogen and not need CPAP later on. So I have seen it go away. Leo says, does hydrogen break down biofilms? In my opinion, yes, it helps a lot with that. It's my opinion. FIR first says, how about home distilled water? Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm doing. I could show you the machine right here. Carbon distillation is the best way to fully purify or clean water, especially from viruses, bacteria, molds, parasites, all pharmaceuticals, all these type of things. It's extremely impressive. I know every water filtration modality in existence. I've seen all these lab reports for years. It's going to be the cleanest water, and it keeps the hydrogen machine really clean, so it makes it easier. Emman says, can I use bottled water? Okay, guys, you heard of microplastics? Microplastics, absolutely horrible. Did you know that they've been doing all these biopsies on men's testicles and finding that they're full of microplastics? It's crazy, everybody. And the number one source of microplastics? Water. And in my opinion, bottled water. I will go ahead and clean it myself. And also, by the way, buying bottled water is the most expensive way of getting supposed clean water. So in my opinion, it's kind of silly because if you get yourself a carbon distiller, it will literally save you money after, I've calculated it, depending on how many people in the family, but roughly after 6 months. After 6 months, it's literally paid for itself, and then it's so much cheaper to just make your own. And it's gonna be of higher quality in my opinion. Chug Rig says, just got in, what the best water to drink? All right, you might wanna rewind, but basically, carbon distill your water to make it clean. Put it in the best hydrogen machine in the world, which is from a website called holyhydrogen.com. You infuse the magic of hydrogen, and that, in my opinion, is the best water to drink. You could add minerals to it if you want, whatever minerals you'd like. And that, in my opinion, is the best water, hands down. Kayvon says, I'm 78 and lost 50 pounds in the last year. The only thing I did differently was CPAP. Let's see, are we talking about the same thing? Because my understanding is that CPAP is continuous positive airway pressure, as far as like, isn't this when people have trouble sleeping at night and they kind of wake up because they're not breathing properly? I don't know if we're talking about the same thing, but that's my understanding. Let's see, using treatments for, sleep apnea and respiratory disorders. I mean, that's what I understand it to be. And so I don't know why a CPAP would change it unless you weren't sleeping properly, and proper sleep is super important to your health, by the way. So, okay, Emma says, because I don't have a filter. Well, yeah, that's why you would have to buy one. I mean, we live in such a terrible time in regards to so much pollution that we have to buy equipment to try to clean our water and even clean our air. But if you don't have a filter, I mean, bottled water, I would buy distilled water, personally. First says, I've been distilling at home with Mega Home since 2015. Life is stressful, but I think the distilled water has made a difference in my health. Well, absolutely, in my opinion. You're eliminating a lot of the chemicals out there that are gonna be in your water. Okay. Chuck Briggs says, thank you. Martin says, what is the brand name of the carbon distiller? Again, from a website called mypurewater.com. All the carbon distillers they have there, they all make the same quality of water. So you don't really choose based on price, you choose based on options that you want, the speed at which it distills, stuff like that. I have their carbon top distiller, but if I had a home, this is not my home, but if I had one, I would want to get one of the big setups that you hook directly to the water line. It does it all automatically, has a giant holding tank, and you just clean water whenever you want. This one I have to fill it up throughout the day. You guys have probably seen me do it on camera. Zuli says, do you give anti-parasitic meal guide or protocol, or is it something I can just Google? I do, if I did a personal consult. My personal consults are, they're time consuming for me. And I only like to work with people who are really committed, because in the past I've helped so many people and so many are not committed. And when I waste my time on somebody else who's not committed, that is time that I could give to myself and my health. More things that I can do for me that are really good for my health. So, because this is not a job for me. This is me just trying to help other people. But if people really, really need it and they're struggling and they're suffering, it's hard for me to say no because I really do care about people and I want people to be healthy and happy. So I am willing to help, but not all the time. But anti-parasitic meal guide, yeah, I mean, you can easily Google a lot of foods that are anti-parasitic, by the way. That might be a really good start. But if you ever want to do a consult and you're serious, you can email me. Yvonne says, yes, and do bring, okay, I don't know what you're trying to say, Yvonne, but I'm not going to say, I don't need to be getting in trouble with, yes, I do during, okay, I don't know. Might have to delete that comment. I read that the microplastic study they did on men, kind of shocking. How about glass bottled water? I mean, you can do that. Like I said, when you carbon distill it yourself, you're going to get all the plastic out of it. So that's another really good one. I mean, this is, I don't understand. Okay, guys, look, if you're sick, it's going to be horrible. You can't even put a price tag on it. It is horrible. Then it's super expensive to go see doctors and all this stuff, which usually can't help you anyway. Spending a little money on clean water, if you really want to step it up a notch, obviously a hydrogen machine, these type of things, I think will actually save you money, but more than anything, they'll keep you from suffering potentially. I mean, that's the way that I view it, and that's the way that I'm obviously living. Let's see. Norium Chaos says, what happened to you, my guy? I'm gonna have to rewind. I think I've said it a few times now. You have breathing apparatus. I feel for you, my guy. I hope you're healthy. Dude, I'm like really healthy. In fact, I don't know if you guys, I showed it on one of my videos. They studied me and I've done a lot of blood work too. I'm breathing in pure hydrogen, literally the thing that in my opinion saved my life when I was super sick. But also my other protocols enhance everything. Hydrogen enhances it. But this is just breathing in hydrogen. I'm not sick right now. And when they did that study, I was like the lowest percentage, I think it was less than 1% of people apparently have my health. So I'm literally at the top, less than 1 percentile as far as good health now. Now that's wild. I went from supposedly not even gonna make it, I'm not gonna survive, I'm gonna die, to all of a sudden be the healthiest. I mean, to me, as I say, the proof is in the pudding. So, you know, my methods, for me, they seem very clear. It doesn't seem very like difficult to understand. Some people don't agree with me and I'm like, you know what, that's fine, but I find it funny because clearly it worked. So, but okay, moving on. Emma says, I'm in Canada. I don't know where to buy distilled water or how can I do that at home? Do you recommend a machine? I do, but the machine I recommend is not in Canada. So you're just gonna have to Google and look for distillers in Canada. And then you can distill your own water. Zuli says, thank you, you're welcome. And Chronomerium Chaos says, I'm new here, sorry bro, but I'm here now and I will subscribe. You seem like a down-to-earth guy, kudos to you. Well, thank you so much. And I am opening up a new channel, but it's not about health. But I'm moving to Japan. If you guys want to see a lot of the stuff I'm gonna be doing there, it's gonna be very different than this channel. But I will continue to do this channel. Anything I learn about health, the Japanese do so much great, amazing research, by the way, guys, on health, that I think will shock you. It shocks me. It shocks me that the world doesn't even really pay attention, but I'm gonna be divulging a bunch of the secrets when I'm over there. So that's gonna be fun for you guys. I think it'll be great. Let me grab a little bit of my smoothie, answer a few more of your guys' questions if you have any. I'll be right back. Some more hemp hearts. I don't think I'm gonna consume all these before I go, but I wasn't gonna buy them, but then I went without them for like 3 days. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I gotta buy these. They're not just good for me, they taste good too. Ironically, they'll probably make me test positive on a drug test. I've heard that, you know, but I don't care. You know, what matters to me more is my health. Like I said, when you suffer from bad health, guys, everything changes. Let's see. Chronomium Chaos says, would love to see more content. And I agree, the Japanese definitely know the tricks to longer life and healthier lives. Absolutely. And then Chromium says, I am from the UK and the water here is terrible and it is hard polluted water. What do you suggest? Well, we already talked about that, but I'll tell you again. There's numerous ways to filter water. I know every water filtration modality in existence. Carbon distillation. Distill your water and run it through carbon filter, or run it through a carbon filter first, then distill it, or you can take reverse osmosis water and then distill it, which is what I'm doing. That whole process will pretty much eliminate almost everything out of that water. The beautiful thing about water, and I mean really beautiful, is that you can literally take sewage water, and if you distill it properly, you can make it perfectly clean again. That's the beauty about water. You can always bring it back to its original state through what we might call fire. You know, sometimes I wonder if the human spirit's like that. You know, we have to go through hell in order to get all purified again. I don't know. Bring us back to our original rebirth. Martin says, in Belgium, a lot of restaurants wash their dishes in distilled water? What? In special dishwashers. Holy cow. That's next level. Washing your dishes with clean water? Or distilled water? Hey, more power to you. I think that's great. I know the Japanese are like really, really picky about water. One time, I mean, I meditated a lot trying to figure out my protocols. I mean, this is what I did. I would read a lot of medical research. I would meditate on things a lot. I would look at nature to see how nature does things. I would read ancient scriptures that had ancient wisdom. And I would look, you know, all these lab reports, and I brought everything together to figure out the best way to, quote unquote, heal myself and bring myself back. It was a lot of work. And also rummaging through all the garbage out there. Oh my gosh, all the health gurus out there, everybody disagreeing about everything, and it's so simple, honestly. It's not that complicated. That's why I just find it odd, but I won't go down that road. Chromium Chaos says, I could listen to you talk about this type of stuff 24/7. I love channels like this. I am so grateful to YouTube to actually recommend this to me. Haha. Well, hey, I'm glad you found the channel too, actually. YouTube, you know what's really weird about YouTube is I've been making videos for like, I don't know, almost a decade. And people just couldn't find them. For the longest time, you even typed in the name of the channel, you couldn't find it. And when I do lives, they seem to pop up more. But I just do it to, I'm doing my morning routine anyway. One way or another, I'm doing it anyway. So I just figured I would record and answer a lot of your questions because I get so many emails. It just keeps me too busy. I'd rather do this and just talk while I'm doing my hydrogen inhalation anyway. I'm inhaling my hydrogen, I'm having my breakfast smoothie. Patricia says, what is the name of the hydrogen machine you breathe? So as you guys know, I'm only about the best. This machine is called the Lourdes Hydrofix Premium. It's from a website called holyhydrogen.com. That's the official site. And the reason you have to go, well, you don't have to, but the reason it's a good idea to go to the official site is because this is the #1 machine in Japan. And what I discovered is that the Chinese absolutely are crazy about this machine. Asia's crazy about this machine. It's because it's the best. And so they literally tried to copy it. They've made copies of it. They look the same, but I've had people who've bought them and then they email me because they have all these problems. And then I'm like, look, contact the company. They contact the company and I always tell them, let me know how it went. They get back to me. They said, I had a fake one. It wasn't even real. So important to get an official machine because these are all lab tested, certified. They do things that nobody in the whole hydrogen industry does, which is pretty mind-boggling. Only one company does it. That's weird. That's like, I don't know. It's like Tesla. They're the only company that makes only electric cars. Well, I guess there's a few other ones, but you know, anyway. Okay, moving on. Hopefully that answers your question. Yvonne says, you are such an inspiration. Well, that's very kind of you. Wow. Well, thank you for that. Let's see here. Chromium Chaos says, keep spreading, what do you say? Keep spreading the word. You are literally doing God's work by helping people. God bless. Well, that's very kind. I appreciate it, guys. I really do. I really am trying to be helpful. Mo says, your thoughts on a reverse osmosis system. So reverse osmosis is second best, but I've seen reverse osmosis. You have to understand that any system that is porous, so carbon filters, reverse osmosis filters that are porous, when they lab test them and tell you the quality of the water afterwards, which by the way, it will not eliminate everything, but you can get them cheap. I have one right here, but it's a backup. The distiller Number one priority for me to have clean water. And by the way, I'm a germaphobe. And if you know what is in water and the pipes that it goes through and everything else, I don't want to put that in my mouth or in my body at all. This to me now has become, this body has become sacred to me. It's like my temple, super important to me. I want the best, I want the cleanest. Reverse osmosis, it's okay, but it's not the best. But I rather have reverse osmosis than nothing. And any porous system, remember, the quality of the water when you first filter is going to be here. The porous systems get dirty as you go, so the quality of the water is going down as you're filtering more water. So if a company tells you, hey, this filter can do 5,000 gallons, after 1,000 gallons, 2,000 gallons, 3,000 gallons, the quality of your water is going down. They never lab test. This is the tricky part about these water companies. They never lab test after 2,000 gallons to see how the quality of your water is. Very sneaky. Distillation doesn't do that because distillation doesn't technically have a filter. It uses the power of nature. Because, by the way, that's how nature cleans water, by the way. It starts with hydrogen, meaning the sun, hits the ocean, the distillation process comes down as rain or snow. And in ancient scripture, when I did all my research, I figured out, it literally says, pure as the driven snow, pure as white as snow. Rain and snow is distilled water. And when I use it on different like gardening techniques and trying different waters, rainwater, distilled water always work the best. Plants love it. Okay, moving on. Martine says, it saves them a lot of time and the glasses are squeaky clean and nothing needs to be polished. Oh man, I tell you, distilled water is awesome. That's how nature does it. Eamon says, why can't I buy it from Japan? Holy Hydrogen is an American company. Okay, so actually, Holy Hydrogen is a subsidiary of Japan. They are virtually the same company. And the reason that they did that was because they built a machine for the Japanese people. It actually is an inferior machine, and they know that. That's why they made the premium edition, because the Japanese, a lot of people don't know this, they have one of the most stable electrical grid systems in the world. The international model, the premium model, which actually, if for a Japanese person to get it, they usually need to be a doctor because it has different parameters. It actually puts out more hydrogen. So they're actually a little bit of a different machine. So, I mean, I guess if you were in Japan, the other thing about the Japanese machine, if you read their warranty, it says that if you use it outside of Japan, your warranty goes down the toilet. They will not give it a warranty. Their premium model is designed to be used internationally. So with that, they're like, okay, that one you can use anywhere and you will have a warranty. So that's why. Prince J says hi. Barbara Curtis says, your information / opinions are invaluable, in my opinion. She says, thank you. Thank you, Barbara. That's very kind. I'm glad you guys are finding it helpful. I'm going to get going pretty soon if you have any last questions. But yeah, like I said, clean water, clean air are two really big ones. Overcoming nutritional deficiencies, really trying to lower the parasitic count, parasites in the body. A lot of fiber, guys. That is going to be, just watch, I'm going to call it now. I've been calling it for a while. The next, see, they always have these quote unquote health trends. So someone all of a sudden is like, oh, copper's amazing, and they try to sell you a copper supplement. And then later on, oh, magnesium's amazing, and then they want to sell you a magnesium supplement. And this new infrared thing is amazing, and there's always something, okay? Just really, I think they're just trying to sell products. I hate to say this, but that was a frustrating thing for me when I was trying to get better, is that you have all these people and everybody's promoting something different, and it was really confusing, and everybody has a difference of opinion. So I reached a place where I was like, you know what? Forget this. I'm going to follow the data. I'm going to do critical thinking, and I'm going to really just go down my own path, really, because I tried a lot of these techniques. I spent massive amounts of money. It was so frustrating, and I wasn't getting better. So it was really frustrating. And then all these shenanigans, like the guy who asked about the Brown's gas. The Brown's gas thing is just, and like I said, it's just these horrible methods of doing hydrogen, in my opinion, right? So anyway, what I realized is clean water is really, really important. But the next trend, I'm telling you, fiber is going to be the next trend. And what are they going to try to do? They're going to try to sell you some fiber supplement. But the Japanese discovered that every fiber from every fruit, vegetable, nuts, seeds, beans, mushrooms, all these different fibers are actually different. They're not all the same. This is going to be the next thing that we're going to be learning about. They're usually 1 to 2 decades ahead of America, so it's going to be a little while. And then you're going to realize the importance of fiber. And there is actual research that was suppressed in America. I found it. It was really odd from like a long time ago. Before I go into that, somebody's asking another question. Emma says, I'll buy it. Would you please say its specific name again? Because there's only one machine on that website. holyhydrogen.com. Obviously, HOLY. Somebody can write it down for her. And then hydrogen.com. They only have one machine because that's all you need. See, when people, I always find it odd when these hydrogen companies are selling like 20 different hydrogen machines. It's like, you don't need that. You need one really, really good one. That's all you need. You're all making hydrogen. It's really odd. Okay. Hopefully that helped you, and you can use the discount code uprising144K if you want to. You could even try the code capital H200. I think that one's a good code too. Chromium Chaos says, opinions on black seed oil. I think it's good stuff. I'm a chronic pain patient. Oh no. And former addict. Oh man. And use black seed oil for now for better gut health. What's your take? I mean, it's not like I'm against it. I think it's good stuff. Do I use it regularly? No. And if I remember, I believe it's anti-parasitic. In fact, here, let's look it up real quick. And I'm a big fan of just about anything that's anti-parasitic. But let's just confirm. Is black seed oil anti-para? That's interesting. Normally it wants to write it for you and it didn't want to. Let's see here. Wow. Well, it's antibacterial, that's good. Antifungal, antiviral, antiparasitic. There you go. Good stuff in my opinion. Just make sure, I mean, do I think it's absolutely necessary for health? I didn't need to use it. But if it's something you want to take, I don't think it's bad. Okay. Zuli says, question, do you know is why I am craving a lot of chocolate, dark chocolate, or chocolate stuff, even though I take magnesium? Every day, 800 milligrams. I do a mix of glycinate, etc. No, I don't know why you're craving chocolate. Most likely, well, look, I'm not a huge fan of chocolate that it's mixed with processed sugar, milk, and God knows what else they put in there. I like the raw material, the cacao. So I know it's really good for stem cells. I do think it's really good for the brain and even happiness. So maybe that's something, you know, but I will say for depression and happiness, just know 20 to 30 minute brisk walk has been shown to work better than any antidepressant on the market. And it's odd that we have all these antidepressants and yet depression is up. Think about that, guys. We have a medicine that supposedly is supposed to be for depression and yet depression is getting worse. It doesn't make any sense. And so many people are taking it. It's crazy because that's one of the top pharmaceuticals found in our water. Antibiotics, antidepressants, and women's contraception. Imagine what that's doing to your brain, your hormones. The whole thing's nuts. Martin says, as long as they work synergistically. Mau says, so you recommend a distiller. Are there differences in water distillers? There is. The one I use is not made in China. It's an American-made one from mypurewater.com. They do not only use higher grades of metal, but the way that they route the steam, that's why they lab test it and they realize that there are better ways of doing it. So, you know, I go with, you know, one of the best. With distiller companies, there are multiple ones that are pretty good. Hydrogen is very different actually in that regard, where there's almost nothing that's good. There's only 3 machines out there that I would personally use, and that's it. And obviously I chose the best one out of those 3, but they're all safe, you know, and good. And it also depends on what country you are in. So Martin says, I mean other products. I think I'm getting confused here. You have to type out the question again. Martin says, I mean, oh wait. Chromium Chaos says, thank you, sir. You're welcome. Zuli says, okay, thank you, because even raw cacao I crave. Oh, and you know, again, you're talking about taking a supplement. Food is always going to be better, in my opinion, than the supplement. Unless you're doing like a really pure extract like the mushroom stuff, but for the most part, food, there must be something in that food that your body's really requiring or wanting. And maybe is a lack of nutrient absorption too. Like maybe you're not getting enough of something because you're not actually absorbing it properly. But that is interesting. I mean, it's probably some special property from the cacao. I'm gonna start stretching again. Emma says, you said that hydrogen is able to cross the blood-brain barrier, right? Yes. Would it benefit the brain? Oh, absolutely. Haven't you guys seen? There is, I've worked with so many people with brain issues. There was one, in fact, you guys should go check out the Holy Hydrogen YouTube channel. There was a woman who had contacted me. It's an amazing story. She had TBI, which is traumatic brain injury. She went to a ton of doctors. Nobody could help her. And this story gets really wild. She said that, I didn't even know this, but she was basically going to end her life. And she had prayed, you know, for some guidance from God, she said. And she said, I literally popped up on some video within 24 hours. And she said, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. Whatever this guy's saying, it feels right. So she went for it. And she actually contacted me. She goes, hey, can you know help me out with the hydrogen protocol, whatever. I helped her out. It was really difficult to talk to her. Super sweet. But when I say it was difficult to talk to her, I say that because her traumatic brain injury, she would forget everything every 10 to 15 seconds, guys. It was horrible. She couldn't, you know, it was very, very difficult to try to explain to her how to do certain things. Anyway, 6 months roughly later, I get a phone call and she's like, hey, is this the hydrogen man? And I was like, yes. She said, I just wanted to thank you for saving my life. And I was thinking, who is this? I didn't save anybody's life. I didn't jump in a river and save somebody from drowning or anything of the sort. I didn't know it was her, and we kept talking. I was trying to figure out who she was. And then she goes, don't you remember me, the lady from Hawaii? And I was like, oh my gosh, you know why I didn't recognize her, guys? Because she could talk normally, coherently. She could remember. It was unbelievable. It was like a different person. And then that's when she told me the story. She said, I was literally going to end my life. I found you. I tried this. She goes, it worked. It's so amazing. I can't believe no doctor could help me. And this helped me so much. And then she ended up doing a testimonial with the company, an actual video. By the way, this is what I mean about the guy who brought up the Browns gas a while ago. All these people claiming to have been getting better. Oh, guys, I can't even begin to tell you, you know, in regards to those things, in my opinion, there's a lot of hogwash out there in the world. But she actually went on camera, real life testimonial, somebody with serious issues, and that obviously this method really worked for her. And you guys can actually see it. It's a great video in my opinion. Okay. And also I have a really good video on dementia and Alzheimer's, another amazing testimonial. This goes right to the brain. Anyway, Martine says, I was talking about the infrared or red light therapy. Any therapy is good as long as it helps you. And you can use them synergistically. Yes, but I would actually, my personal opinion, I wouldn't even do red light therapy without hydrogen because it is an oxidant, okay? The way that it functions, and you have to balance it out with something like this that actually functions as an antioxidant. It's kind of like using heat and cold. I really wouldn't want to just use just one, to be quite honest. I like the combination, but maybe that was a bad example. But yeah, I don't even use red light therapy. I'm not a huge fan of it. I just feel like it's another one of these products that they're trying to sell you. That's my opinion. But I've looked at some of the scientific data. It's pretty good. But like somebody told me yesterday, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. You know, my methods are clearly working for me, and I don't need another machine. I like to keep things as simple as I can. Eman says, I'm iatrogenic botulism poisoning patient. Botox ruined my nerves and my brain. Oh my gosh, that is very sad. In fact, I know somebody who went through something like that. And this is sad because they actually used the Brown's gas machine and it made it so much worse. I wish that person was still in the room to hear this because I've had so many horror stories from that type of technology actually. But people don't believe it, but whatever they want to believe. But it's sad. That's what bothers me about the world of health. When you're trying to get healthy and you're paying for products that you think are going to help you and potentially make things worse. But anyway, blah, blah, blah. Martine says, that is what I mean. No, you don't, but maybe other people do. I don't quite understand. Okay. All right, guys, getting into the end of the time here. So, and again, any last questions or if anybody wants to clarify anything, because there's a few things that I don't understand that when you guys type it up. Of course, I'm just doing my stretching. But normally, this is the way I like to breathe hydrogen too. Pull it deep into your lungs. And then Joseph says, hydrogen water is bad for you. Okay, You're talking to a guy whose life it saved, brother. And you're talking about something that's medically approved. And there's over 2,000 studies. I mean, I'm sorry to say, I think it's a ridiculous statement actually, but I would agree with you. If you make it incorrectly, yes, I do think hydrogen could be bad for you. If done properly, it's amazing. Read about Lourdes, France. Unbelievable. That's how this stuff was discovered. People were drinking the water from Lourdes, France, having amazing healings. You should see the guy who did the blood work. Anyway, I won't even begin. I got over 400 videos about this. And Martine says, you don't need red light. Yeah, exactly. I don't need it, you know? And to be quite honest, if I really want light therapy, I'll take it from the sun. The sun is magical, and then I use the hydrogen. In combination, I have seen some pretty remarkable things actually in regards to this. And then Martine says, yes, Lourdes. Yeah, Lourdes, France. Guess what? They studied that water and they found it has high levels of molecular hydrogen. That's the key. Nature's doing it, and it's doing it, in my opinion, at a very high level. So Martine says, a lot of hydrogen. Yep, I mean, yeah. So, you know, it's like people who say, oh, distilled water is bad for you. Okay, if you think clean water is bad for you, and you know what? It's fine. Like, I don't even get upset. If you want to go drink tap water, drink tap water. If you want to go buy plastic bottled water that tastes like plastic, go ahead. You know, Martine says, all springs here. Well, that's what I'm really, you know, you guys know that I'm going to Japan, and I'm going there because of the springs. I'm going there because of the nature, the power of nature, the water. The water is really the main reason I'm going, guys. I'm in love with water, and I can't wait to soak in these springs. And then I got, you know, I'm going to use the hydrogen with the springs. It's just going to be pretty remarkable. It's going to be really great for me. But I'll share a lot of it with you guys. Emman says, please share with us how you use it properly. Emman, how do I use what properly? You talking about the hydrogen, or you might want to clarify? Mustafa Emman. I should go soon. I got a lot to do, But Martine says, I envy you. I can't go to, but I can go to France. Hey, you can bathe in the water of Lourdes. That would be super awesome. And you know, this has been a long time coming for me. To be quite honest, guys, I didn't even think I'd be alive, obviously, by now. I never really thought that maybe I'd be able to walk again or walk normal again. So I don't know, this is, you know, for me, this is big, and you guys are kind of along for the ride if people want to watch. Sharing, obviously, my experiences, because there's so many, in my opinion. There's good stories out there, like true testimonials, and then there's just a bunch of fake ones, you know, and it's hard to differentiate when you have all this stuff all compiled together. It's hard to figure out the good from the bad, and that was something that I had to go down that road, and it was really tough. Okay, Emmon says, hydrogen machine, how to use it properly? Well, I have a massive amount of videos. I would watch video 337. If you have the hydrogen machine, I would watch video 426. I would also watch video 388. Those are just like at least 3 videos that I would watch, and then, you know, go from there. But I have a whole video library for you guys for free. Everything's free. I've never, you know, people, you know, I get approached every single day by these companies that want to like open up a website, start charging, and all sorts of stuff that they want to do. I'm like, look, I'm just going to give it all for free to you guys. You know, I mean, I could go down that path. That could become my new career. I could be, you know, one of these supposed health gurus, is what basically they want to turn me into. I'm just going to give you guys the information, and I just got to go live my life. You know, I don't necessarily want to be, you know, I put information out when I have it for you guys. It's easy, it's simple. You can access it on YouTube, and that's just, you know. Emman says, on your channel, right? Yeah, all this stuff's on this channel. I mean, you can find me. Look, if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Rumble, that's great, because if anything ever happens to this channel, you can find me again. But for the most part, this is where the real info comes. It's always right here on YouTube. Chuck Riggs says, why is there no option to subscribe to your channel? I don't know. You're talking about this channel? That seems kind of odd. I don't know. But if you, Chuck, if you go to YouTube and you just type in Uprising 144K, my channel will pop up, and boom, you can subscribe right there. Should be pretty easy. Oh, oops, found it, says Chuck. There you go. Thanks for all the thumbs up, guys. I really appreciate the support. Helps the algorithm. Get this information out there. There's too many people who are suffering, people who are having all sorts of problems, and they don't really realize. They don't understand how important the water is. They don't understand how water filters don't really do everything you think that they're doing. They definitely don't know about the power of hydrogen, and especially how to make it properly and use it properly. That's got to be probably the #1 thing I see in the problems out there. Chronorium Chaos says, what's your IG handle, buddy? Instagram, I think it's Uprising144K. If you don't find it under that, look it up under Hydrogen Man. It's always going to be one of those two. This came out good today. I can taste that cacao with the matcha. Oh, tastes really good. You know, I've made this for quite a few people throughout my life, you know, friends, family, their kids. And the one that I thought kids would never like it, it's so shocking. So far, up to date, every single person who's ever tried it has liked it, which I always thought that'd be somebody. So far, there is not one person who hasn't liked it. And then somebody wrote that to me, I think like a week ago. They're like, man, I didn't think it tastes good. I made it and it tasted really great. And then Chromium Chaos says, I'm following you, buddy. In fact, I just got a notification that you did. So sounds good, guys. Like I said, I'll be sharing a lot more stuff. And there's actually going to be a lot coming in the next year. Lots of stuff, not just Japan. Japan's going to be big. But I'd like to tell you what's coming. The only reason that I don't want to tell you is because I don't want to jinx it. But if things happen the way that they're looking like they're going to happen, it's going to be a big year. It's going to be really exciting. And you're going to want to stay tuned for this. This is going to be bonkers. So, okay, Chuck says, it's nice to hear the info, but to also see results. Thank you, sir. Yeah, absolutely. I always hear these people, I don't know, talking about health, this, that, and the other. Like, actually, there's someone, I won't name her, but she's a very, very famous health guru out there. And she's actually sick, and she doesn't want to tell anybody. I just happen to know somebody who knows her. And I've been trying to tell her, you need to have her talk to me. I literally have to help the health gurus. A lot of them do steal my techniques. I get calls from doctors all the time, like I'm doing. And I don't think my technique is that complicated, but somehow people can't seem to, you know, understand this. And by the way, what's coming in the near future, what I'm about to do for myself, this whole Japan thing, I'm going to take my health to even another level, like the stratosphere, dare I say. I mean, I don't want it to sound arrogant, but I'm going to do my best to take things to even another level because I love to feel good. Who doesn't want to feel good? I'm living in this body. To me, living in this body is like being in a car. If you want to be in a really nice, reliable car that's comfortable or that's fast or whatever you want it to be, you know, this body is my vehicle. I want it to be a Ferrari, you know, I want it to be running tip top. I want it to be great. And so I'm putting the effort in, you know. Okay, Martine says, good, and says, looking forward to the next year. Absolutely. Things are coming, guys. It's going to be really, really interesting. So, all right. Well, any last questions before I go? Emma says, can I DM you? I want to follow your protocol. Yeah, you can DM me if you want. On Instagram, you can DM me. On YouTube, I don't know how you do it on YouTube. I think you'd have to email me. But yeah, however you want to do it. Martin says, your body is your temple. Absolutely. See, I'm in absolute agreement with that. I want it to be clean. So all these parasites and worms and whatever else and fatty oils, like I want healthy oils. There's a difference between nasty oil, like processed seed oils, especially deep fried, pan fried. All these fried foods always make me feel horrible. On Instagram. Oh yeah, you can do that. That's cool. Keep it really clean. And then your skin clears up. I used to have really bad acne. I used to have it on my face, on my back. It was horrible. When you start cleaning the body, it just feels good. You know, I just gotta say, nobody likes it when they have like all these pimples. Nobody likes it when you have like fungus on your nails, you know, people who have fungus or athlete's foot or all these crazy things that happen to your body. You know, you start getting jaundice or, you know, even like people with, and somebody just followed me on Instagram again, like even bad breath. Bad breath is linked to your GI system. You know, when you start cleaning things up, everything starts clearing up and it just feels good. That's all I can tell you about that. You know, it just feels good. I don't think there's anything better than feeling good and happy. And when your body's running on all cylinders, you're definitely making more of the happy chemicals. So if you're trying to overcome depression and stuff like that, you know, following the proper protocols and taking care of the body. Those are just my opinions, guys, but thanks for all the support. Thanks for all the kind words. I think I'm gonna let you go. I think we've been here a while. I don't see any other questions. So thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned. Stuff is coming. It's gonna be fun. All right, guys. Actually, I'll give you a few seconds if you have any last questions, but I'm gonna be signing off here any second, just in case somebody's like, oh wait, I forgot to ask. That always happens. I'm still having a little bit of smoothie here. All right. I don't see anything, so I'm gonna let you go. All right, guys.